Good Sunday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, here in Southern California. We're sandwiched between Seal Beach, which is right over there, and Huntington Beach, right over in that direction. It's a beautiful morning, albeit a little bit on the cooler side. I'm feeling a little cold. My feet are cold in the sand. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing. That's part of what we're going to be talking about when we talk about the offshore scene here in Southern California. We've got some excellent local rock fishing going on, and there has been so much more that has been occurring here in Southern California as we bump up against Halloween. It's so great to start my day off with you. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, nothing like a glorious cup of coffee to warm your soul here in the early morning hours. It is really great to be with you. If you don't mind, hit that like button. Also share these videos. Subscribe to Friedman Adventures. And don't forget to tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new comment. Good morning, Lupe. Good to see you. And also don't forget you can follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook, as I'm losing my train of thought because I'm an old man. That is for sure. Hey, another thing, lunker, big crappie. I know this is supposed to be the saltwater report, but we're going to be doing some freshwater stuff here this winter, including some trout stuff. And yesterday I went up to Canyon Lake to shoot a podcast with my sons, Philip and Patrick. They wanted to delve into my history, how I got started in fishing. And I'll have that here on the Friedman Adventures channel also as soon as Patrick makes it available. But Patrick has his bass boat, and Philip there at Canyon Lake where Patrick lives. And man, they claim to me that there's going to be a ticker tape parade for them because Philip caught a 15.25-inch crappie. Is that a big crappie? Can you leave a comment down below because I really don't know. I don't know if these guys are pulling my leg or what they're saying. And of course the ticker tape parade is a little facetious, but they were really stoked. Look at that thing. Big old crappie there, and they caught over 100 crappie and had good bass fishing. That was before I showed up for the podcast, but I got there to see that fish and I filleted it up for them. And Patrick said he was going to have some good fish tacos today at some point in time. So there's your crappie report for the morning. And again, we'll be doing some trout fishing stuff using some friends that I made on board our Independence trip. James and Lorenzo are going to help us out on that. Good morning, you guys. Hope you're doing well. All right, so we have that. Also, I want to mention to you that my dear friend Frank Savino. Frank ran the Enterprise. Well, he's run boats here in SoCal for so many years now. Presently retired and living up there in Northern California. I'm blessed by your friendship, Frank. I hope you're having a great morning this morning because this very morning he's surf fishing up there in Northern California. He said the red-tail perch are biting really, really well up there, so hopefully we'll get a photo or two from him. But he told me that about a 20-minute drive from where he lives is a cove called Shelter Cove. Shelter Cove. And they caught the biggest bluefin tuna up there that they've ever had. It shattered the records, 217-pound bluefin tuna up there on 80-pound. Frank also said that the albacore are now northwest of Fort Bragg, kind of making their normal migration up toward the Aleutians. And he said there's still some pretty good albacore fishing. But Frank, I hope you're having a great surf fishing morning and doing really, really well. Hey, a couple of dates, and then we'll get into it all with you. And those dates are, of course, November the 3rd. That's this coming Friday night. Our last trip of the year, a day-and-a-half trip on board the beautiful, comfortable Horizon out of H&M Landing in San Diego. You can book by going to horizoncharters.com. The long-range forecast for the weather, and that's a big piece of this, perfect, beautiful. It's been holding for several days now. I've been telling you it's a little too far out there to bank on it, and it probably still is. But man, all those forecasts have remained consistent. It's going to be flat, calm, and gorgeous Friday night. The Horizon. Hope you can join us on that one. And then, of course, November the 11th, our dear departed friend Eddie Leland will have his memorial service at All Souls Cemetery in Long Beach, California. That'll be from 4 to 8 in the evening. And then December the 2nd, our Christmas party at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club, and you are invited. Just send me a text. I'll send you all the info. Patreon members, Friedman Adventures Patreon members are free. You're going to get a big meal. There's great raffles. You get to hang out with people in the industry. December the 2nd in Redondo Beach. Just text me 657-227-6459 and I'll get you all that information. All right, let me start you out south of the border, down there in the beautiful little coastal town of Ensenada, Baja California, where we continue to see some decent offshore fishing. In fact, a lot of the San Diego fleet is down that way now, fishing in that neck of the woods, and I'll get into what is going on in the Southern California area here shortly. But there's still some good kelps that are holding some dorado, a few yellowtail, occasionally some bluefin tuna, occasionally some yellowfin tuna, occasionally some dorado. It's hit and miss fishing. You've got to find that right kelp patty, or you have to get a jig strike, or you have to see some fish milling around on the surface, or perhaps even feeding. But if you get on that right bunch of fish, you can do really, really well. And of course, you got to be ready to drop that fluorocarbon down or go up, depending upon the intensity of the bite. So if they're finicky and they're not biting that well, you're going to want to drop that fluoro down to 20, 25 pound, something like that. If they're full speed, go with the 40, the 60, even heavier. And a good way to get a bite on heavier string is by using a lure. And those Dawasakana lures, 100 to 150 grams, work really, really well. You can fish those on 60 pound, 50 pound, toss it into a bunch of fish, let it sink, sink, sink. Sometimes it'll stop. That means you're bit, put it in gear and start winding. Other times you'll get bit on the retreat. But it's a good way to get around finicky fish that don't want to bite the heavy, and then you'll own those things. Remember, the yellowfin tuna, mostly I want to say 25 to 40 pounds. Beautiful, awesome grade of fish. Bluefin tuna still get some 8-pounders, majority 18 to 25, some 40-pounders in there also. And the dorado, usual size, 5 to 10 pounds on average. A lot of 12-pounders in there and some bigger fish occasionally. Not bad at all. That's a beautiful grade of fish. Now, we are dealing with some breezy weather offshore. Tanner Cortez Bank, excuse me, really nasty here later today. It's all going to come down, however. Even the local tuna areas, some of this stuff around Catalina and 14 Mile Bank, which hasn't been biting all that well, but it's breezy there as the wind picks up even a little bit more. Down towards San Diego, around the 43 east of San Clemente Island, it's breezy in there. It's not horrible, but it's enough to make things a little bit more difficult. By Tuesday, that's all gone. It's gorgeous, flat calm. And then by next weekend, when we're on our horizon trip, if you have a trip on another boat or you're planning a trip, it looks gorgeous. Hopefully it's not going to change. It looks absolutely like there'll be no wind and it'll be flat calm, and that's what we need. That should continue to provide ample opportunities for this offshore bite. Continued warm water, 68, 69 degrees, perfecto, and that looks really, really good. All right, the San Diego area, let's talk about that, and the offshore area in general, because many of the LA Orange County based boats run down there also. But most of that fish seems to have slid down the Baja coast about 50 miles, 60 miles in that range right now, down toward Ensenada, which puts it out of range of the full day boats. Now, is this a temporary thing? I think so. We're looking at a big bright full moon here today. Maybe it's moon phase. Who knows what it is? There's so many different variables that make fish bite and put them off the bite. So we'll just have to wait and see. But those full day guys, the San Diego, the Sea Watch, the Mission Belle, had very tough fishing yesterday. Very, very, very tough fishing. In fact, I talked to Captain Sean Hardigan at length last night from the Mission Belle. Sean said, Phil, it's just missing right now. It's not there. It's slid down the Baja coast. It's okay. It's in range of overnight type trips or day and a half type trips, which makes me feel good about our horizon trip. He said, if you're on one of those trips, you're in the zone. You're in the right area. Still have to find the right kelp, still have to find the right jag of fish, but you're in the zone if you're on overnight or day and a half trips out of San Diego heading south. And with nice weather forecasts for Tuesday on, that could come back. It could come back today. And there's no doubt that I've seen that 43 fathom spot area where the full day guys are fishing. I've seen it here recently dry up for a few days and then come roaring right back. Maybe this morning is the morning when it comes roaring back. Maybe it'll be the next day. Maybe it'll be when this weather flattens out on Tuesday-ish. So we'll keep watching that very, very closely for you all. Let me give you a few scores, give you an idea of what's going on. The Old Glory with 60 Dorado and 66 yellowfin tuna. That is darn good fishing, man. I'll tell you, here at Halloween, you couldn't ask for a better treat. Polaris Supreme 3-day trip, 126 on the bluefin tuna, 31 on the yellowfin tuna. Nice hit for them. The Tribute 26 guys with, 26 Dorado, 72 yellowfin tuna, 4 skipjack, and 4 bluefin tuna. Once again, that variety is something we see here in Southern California in the fall. You get that variety, and that makes every single fishing trip so darn interesting, so darn good. That mystery that surrounds every trip that you make really makes it a lot of fun. So we are seeing a lot of that. Aztec 26 guys, 21 yellowfin, a bluefin on a 2-day trip, a little bit slower there. Oceanside 95, a 2.5-day trip, 57 yellowfin tuna, 44 Dorado, 2 yellowtail, couple skipjack. They had one day that was slow, and then yesterday it came roaring back for them, a much better day. So hopefully we'll see that return. And once again, we are dealing with that, a little bit of that breezy weather right now. I don't think it's enough to shove this fish down. I think it's just moved, and it's moved down the Baja coast. Now, will it keep going that way? You never know. We're going to just have to wait and see. My suspicion is with the warm water and the nice weather forecast in the future, we still have a long way to go here in our offshore season. And there is that squid, that market squid that is showing up in Southern California in a variety of different locations, and that is a magnet. It's a food source. It's part of the food chain. That magnet will hold that bluefin here, and it will usher in more exotics in next year's bite. I guarantee you that. If we see more and more squid in here, that is going to help a great deal. So we'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. Islands, not many people are looking at them right now. Coronado Islands, a lack of yellowtail, mostly rockfish, same thing at Clemente, a few bass, Catalino, sculpin, whitefish, that kind of thing. Lobster fishing at Catalina's been off the hook, though, and it continues that way. It's marvelous. If you have a private boat, if you're fishing around Avalon, you're going to run into crowds of people, so you want to go east or west of there, a few miles to get away from all that boat pressure. Find yourself a little area that has less pressure, and you should be able to limit out 7 lobster. Should be able to do really, really well. Channel Islands, outstanding rock fishing up there in that neck of the woods. We saw several boats, the Aloha Spirit, just go on and on and on. The Island Spirit on their local trips have been doing great out of Ventura. Sport fishing, there's been great fishing on the Endeavor. You name it, the boys up there have been having some great fishing. Coral Sea, limits of whitefish out of Santa Barbara. It has been really good. Along the coast, we've had some yellowtail down there on the new Seaforth. It may have dried up because of boat pressure here this weekend, but we've seen some good scores up there, as many as 19 yellowtail biting fly line bait, and they're biting the heavy. They're biting the 40 pound, 60 pound in some cases. Also biting surface iron. We'll see if that comes back as we get some boat pressure off that, or maybe it'll bite here again today. An excellent rock fishing up and down the coast on the local scene. The Dolphin with great fishing there out of Fisherman's Landing, boats out of Oceanside, Dana Wharf, up here in this neck of the woods. LA Orange County areas have been doing really good. Native Sun, limits of whitefish, and a lot of other bottom species. A Redondo Special, our friend Marcus Fain was on there. Man, they didn't only catch some good rockfish on there, they had great bass fishing. Fishing a leadhead, 25 pound, and a live squid down fishing that structure. Marcus had an easy limit of bass, and there was also sculpin and rockfish to go along with it. A live squid, I'm telling you, the candy bait, it makes things happen. It was a great day on the Redondo Special. And Marcus is a great angler. He's always doing really well. Victory, Monte Carlo, all doing well on the bottom bite with a chance at some surface action. Marina del Rey, same kind of a situation up there in that neck of the woods. On the surf, we continue to catch some barred perch, occasional yellowfin croaker. There's actually been some decent spot fin croaker fishing up and down our Southern California beaches. You want to fish live bait on spot fin, very, very occasionally, very rare to catch those spot fins on an artificial. It's mostly always a bait bite. So you want to fish, sandworms if you can dig some up in the surf, or sand crabs if you can find some of those little devils. Or you can go to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, California, a stone's throw from where I am standing right now. They have all the bait you'll need, and they have all the tackle you'll need also. And I'm talking about surf fishing tackle as well as big game tuna, marlin, anything your little heart desires in saltwater fishing. You can find it at Big Fish Bait and Tackle, including some of the lures that work really well here. I love a 3/4 ounce crocodile. You toss it out, you can catch yellowfin croaker, halibut, catch perch on that. It's really a fun way to catch fish. Lucky crab lures, you can catch some nice flatties even in this time of the year as the sun rises here in SoCal. It's gorgeous. As I said, a little chilly for us little babies in SoCal. For anybody else around the world, this is hot and balmy weather. But here at SoCal, and the wind is starting to even pick up as we go along. That'll be a thing of the past here before you know it. All right, my friends, there you have it. We've covered a lot, from 15 1/4 inch crappie to albacore up there, starting to move north of Fort Bragg, that big old bluefin tuna, Shelter Cove, 270-pound bluefin tuna, 217, I should say. And our offshore bite taking a little dip on us. Is it over? Will there be more to come? Are they going to bite today? We'll find out as this lovely day plays out in Southern California. Don't forget to hit that like button. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget November the 3rd, that's this Friday night, the Horizon. I will be there to shoot a video. That's going to be a lot of fun, our last trip of the year. And then November the 11th, Eddie Leland's Memorial All Souls Cemetery in Long Beach, California, 4 to 8 p.m. And finally, December the 2nd, our Christmas party. You had better be there. That's going to be a great get-together with the Friedman Adventures family. It should be a lot of fun. All right, my friends, have a wonderful Sunday. As always, it's such a pleasure to spend time with you, and I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.